after like a lot of freaking like working through, like, okay, what is it gonna be like? The audio, it actually looks good. It does look good.
Sweet.
So I guess we can officially
start. All right, so we have solved all the audio problems.
I think so.
Cool. So we can officially start this podcast.
Well, unless Lexi over here decides
to bark. Okay, Lexi, the studio dog is here with us right now, and she's very quiet. Like
super adorable.
She's wont to be quiet. She's usually a quiet dog. But if somebody rings the doorbell, she will go ape shit, and I will apologize right now. It is not a soundboard. It is not. It is just my actual dog barking. But yes, I am. My name is Daniel Nobre. I am a videographer / photographer enthusiast. More on the side of videos, though. I've always wanted to be a director and shoot movies and whatnot.
You want to sit in the comfy chair.
Yes, I want to sit in the comfy chair.
That's the only thing that matters at this point.
Yes, my chair is quite comfy right now, but it could be comfier. And I'm sitting across from me. I have...
my name is Bensa. I'm actually the polar opposite. I'm a photographer / videographer. I would say that I'm more, I guess, professional / like decently like subpar.
Dude, your stuff's amazing. What are you doing?
Okay, all right. Come on. But yeah, I'm more on the photography side. I take lots of pictures of recently mountains and water,
which is always a great subject.
Dude, it's so calming.
They don't move at all.
That's debatable depending on how windy it is.
I guess, yeah.
I went out to Marine Lake. Moraine.
But then again, you're moving, right? You're the one moving when it's that windy.
I guess so.
Makes it look like they are.
Dude, I was almost blown away. I'm like 140 pounds of pure bone and skin.
Weren't you there like... Was that like... Because I saw the photo. Was that like the like a 5 a.m., 6 a.m. Kind of get up? Although it's getting darker earlier now, so you can probably get away with like waking up at like, what, 6:30?
It was actually a 2:30 wake up, meet at a gas station at 3:30.
What? Dude, I was way off.
Dude, yeah, a little bit. But essentially what happened was we decided with this one wedding photographer in town named Dave. He runs this company called Warren Leather Media. And he posted on Facebook that he wanted to go out and shoot Marine Lake. And like me being the Peter McKinnon enthusiast, I was like, dude, sign me up. I don't even care what time it is. Just like, I'm there.
Yeah.
And so we started kind of like chit-chatting about what is it going to be like a good time for us to go and like get the sunset.
Mm-hmm. Sunrise, you mean?
Sunrise, that's what I meant. What we didn't discuss, however, is that he wanted to do a hike before the sun, like, is up on the sky. So we wake up, and I also mentioned that Marine Lake is going to be, it's going to be packed by like 6 a.m.
Yeah,
which was the actual truth. It was almost
it's a big like photography destination, right?
Huge.
Especially early in the morning, right? There's like lines.
Big. It's like the most photographed. That's it.
that is the word we're looking for.
It is the most photographed place. I want to say like one of the most in Canada.
Yeah. Dude, I see that photo. I see, like, not that photo, but photos of that place.
Everywhere.
Like, everywhere. Yeah,
all the
everywhere.
Freaking Instagram enthusiasts are like, let me get a picture of that.
All the models doing the Christ the Redeemer pose, you know, just like,
it's like Rio de Janeiro.
Yeah, Rio de Janeiro, just like, yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so we decided that we're going to go out at like 3:30 a.m. is when we're going to meet at the petrol gas station just outside of Calgary. And we were going to carpool together to go to the mountains. It was going to be incredible. And so we wake up. It's pitch black, dude. Like, you can't see anything. And I was under the impression that we're just going to go there. We're going to wait out the sunrise. It's going to be good. We're going to have some snacks in the car.
Yeah.
And then we're just going to shoot the lake and then go home. What ended up happening was we decided to buckle up, like, the jackets that we had. And hike up this freaking
Did you guys
mountain.
have like windbreakers or?
He was way more prepared than I was.
I've gone to the mountains with you, and you've like wore like suede shoes and like just not the proper attire to be up there.
I am truly trying.
Yeah, to be stylish.
Fair.
To be stylish. Vince, you shoot the models, okay?
Yeah.
You can't be one at the same time. You have to.
I'm still trying.
You have to pick your times to be the model and to be the photographer. When you're the photographer, you gotta have some comfy some grip shoes. Like you can't come up with these like blue suede shoes.
Fun fact though,
for a mountain.
If I post on my Instagram,
yeah,
then I gotta look good. Because I gotta let the people know
that you look good behind the camera. So you gotta let them know that you're behind the camera. Listen, guys, I'm wearing this tux behind this camera. I know you can't see me.
Absolutely.
#tux.
That's right.
Yeah, I prefer comfy, non-slipping shoes.
Well,
honestly, actually, dude, if I could just be out there with like sweatpants, I would.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't, because sweatpants do nothing against the wind. It just cuts right through them. It just cuts right through them.
Unless you get like, I guess, I have these like fleece lined jogger type deals. They look very stylish, but
see, it's all down to the style with you, man. It's not like practicality takes a step back.
Here's the other
towards
thing,
stylish. You know what? But you know what? I'm not even gonna lie. I respect that decision. You know what? When you gotta look good, you gotta look good, right?
Absolutely.
Right? Exactly.
Here's the thing, though, and this is gonna be really weird, but I have this very strong dislike towards pants that do not like cuff my ankle.
Okay, I'm with you there. Okay, and this is like a recent discovery for me, that like these the jogger style pants,
yes,
right, the ones that cuff your pants, they're amazing.
Oh,
okay,
100%.
They're absolutely amazing. Also, yeah, by the way, we're not just gonna talk about photography and videography. We just talk about whatever in this podcast, which is why this podcast is called He Said Bullshit. Oh, we're supposed to do it together. Okay. And that's why
so sorry.
And that's why wait. And that's why this podcast is called He Said Bullshit. Because it's not for you guys to be taken any. You guys are not supposed to take any of this serious. Not really. We're here really just to rant about whatever is going on in our minds. But because we're pretty open-minded, you always see the other side as well.
Absolutely.
So it's
an open-ended discussion kind
exactly.
of thing.
So it's not even like we have a point. It's all just bullshit.
There you go.
That really is it. But going back to pants.
Yeah,
my
let's
recent
go back to pants.
my recent discovery, okay? Mm-hmm. With these joggers. Specifically here in Canada, because it's cold as fuck.
Yeah, it is.
And if you live here in Canada, you know that tight pants are much warmer than baggy pants.
They also look better.
Yes, absolutely. But again, Benza.
Right.
I'm talking about practicality, not style. Let's focus on the practical, okay? Okay, so it's warmer because there's no air between your legs, so it doesn't get as cold as baggy pants, right?
Yeah.
So once I found that out, dude, my world changed. Okay, living here in Canada.
Okay.
Not only are they warmer.
You're not originally from Canada either.
No, both of us are not actually. Which is, I'm gonna excuse our several moments of ESL here, with our mispronunciations and our just overall made up words sometimes.
Absolutely.
But it comes with the territory of not being from this country. I'm from Brazil.
Yeah, I'm from Hungary, so I'm from Central Europe. I guess this is where the stylish aspect comes from.
Yes, exactly. You see, yeah, that's the European in you.
We just like tight pants.
You gotta walk that catwalk. You just have to. You have to walk that catwalk. But anyways, it is much warmer than any kind of regular pants. Even skinny jeans, which was my first discovery on how tighter pants keep you warmer. Mm-hmm. They are nothing compared to these joggers. Okay, and then the plus of it all is the fact they are the perfect blend, the perfect hybrid of a sweatpants and cargo pants, which means you can put them on and be comfortable in your house. Yeah. And then when somebody calls you, hey, you want to do something, go to the bar and everything, you don't have to change. You're ready.
You're good to go.
You're comfortable in your house. You're comfortable outside of your house. You're comfortable all the goddamn time. Yes, sure. It might make me look like a AKA fuckboy, right? It could.
But also, there are certain styles
when I'm warm, fuckboy, I don't care, man.
There you go. When you're warm, you're warm. And I feel like when you're warm, you can just own anything.
Yeah.
Because you don't care. You're at that point, you're basically just set with whatever.
True.
I'm comfortable, and that's all I care about.
Although I'm pretty sure a mullet makes your neck a lot warmer, but that's where I draw the line.
I can testify to that. Well, not that I had a mullet before.
You heard it here first. Mensa rocks a wicked mullet.
Wicked mullet. No,
Wicked mullet.
like when I let my hair out, right? Because most of my long hair is in a bun all the time because
Yeah.
it's just practical.
Yeah.
And this is where my practical side comes in.
Yeah, just for the
Just
hair.
for the hair.
Although still looks luscious, ladies and gentlemen. If this was a video, you would see the evidence is right there.
There you go. But for like, so long hair, I let it out right early in the morning. I don't want to put it up yet. I just don't think it's time yet. And so I usually
I just don't think it's time yet.
it's not. So I usually have it down, and it's quite comfortable. It's very it's comforting. Have you ever had those hoodies that like zip up to like the top, like the bottom of your chin? Like it's like the entire neck of yours is covered.
Yeah.
It's
Like
mountain
kind of like
sweaters.
the Adidas tracksuit kind of style, just zip up all the way. Yeah, it's great.
So I love those sweaters because it's such a comfort of me. Like everything of me is covered except my face.
Yeah.
Right.
And if there was a way to cover that up in a stylish way,
Not
you would
like
take
a ski
that.
mask.
Yeah,
then
not like a burglar. I would take that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But so getting back to like the whole Miriam Lake story, so we're hiking up, right? In this pitch black, dude. Like there's we literally have to use headlamps. They are ready. They got their mountain gear. I got like a jacket out of their trunk because I wasn't prepared. I thought we were just gonna be hanging out in the car, not hiking.
Yeah.
We end up hiking up onto this mountain, and we see the
How long of a hike was it?
dude? It was like an hour and a half,
Oh, okay.
and it was like steep uphill.
Yeah,
like I don't want to
yeah.
say like it's super steep, but it's pretty
But
steep.
yeah, one of those like power hikes, not like casual, just stroll through the woods.
Absolutely no. It's like you are in for a thigh workout.
Yeah.
And so we're going. We finally reach this like topish area, and we're waiting, and it starts snowing up in the mountains, and I'm literally there in my skinny jeans, dude.
Which is super picturesque, but
Not practical.
not practical.
Not practical
Not
whatsoever.
practical whatsoever.
And so I decided that, you know what, it's a great time to get some photos of the top of the mountains. You saw them earlier on Instagram.
Yeah, they look fantastic. Yes.
Absolutely.
I made
super
sure I
worth
double
it.
tap that shit.
There you go. Thank you. It means a lot to me. It does.
What is it? What number is that lesson on Zombieland?
Double tap.
Double tap. Is that like lesson number 2? Is that? I think that's.
It's been a long time since I saw that movie.
It's been a long time, but I'm pretty sure it's up there. I think number 1 is cardio, right? And number 2 is double tap. I could be
It
wrong.
has to be.
It could be wrong, but it's
Cardio
one of
has
those.
to be first when you're in a zombie.
Yeah, right. It has to be.
I mean, like if you can, because apparently, so this is what I heard. Your brain, and I don't know if it's true. Like I'm not a doctor, or biologist, or like any kind of like
You're just
title to
you're
a
just a
smart
stylish photographer. You
But
you just shoot pictures and you look good while you're doing that.
I'm
Right?
trying to at least. But so apparently, zombies have no full brain control over their muscles. You know, like have you ever heard and read those articles that says like we are utilizing like a certain percentage of our brain?
Yes,
like
which
X
is
percentage?
which is like a bullshit article.
Sure.
Yes.
But for a second.
Let's pretend that's
Let's pretend
real?
that that's
Okay.
true. So I read this article where it kind of went along the same lines. It said that zombies, if there were zombies, they would actually be stronger than regular humans because their brain wouldn't be active, so it wouldn't be limiting their like physical strength.
Like there's no pain from lifting too much,
Absolutely.
or
Like,
there's,
they
there's
just
no
do
pushback basically.
Yeah, they just do it.
But there's also the fact. Well, I guess it depends on what kind of zombies are we talking
Also,
about here.
fact, we're talking about zombies. Zombies are infactual, but let's
but
keep on going.
We got to talk about what kind of zombies we're talking about here, because if
Right.
it is like the undead zombie, the excuse me, the deteriorating kind of zombie, then I could make the point that their muscles are also deteriorating, and that's why they're not strong enough. But if you talk about the virus kind of rage, fast zombie, the shit, I'm gonna die zombie, yeah, exactly. Then I can see it, the fact that they just keep on going, they never stop and everything, and they're just super powerful because of that.
Yeah.
Because I think if you remember like 28 Days Later, which is an amazing movie, they're the latter kind of zombies. They're the rage virus still alive zombies, and in the movie it plays very well like that. They don't get phased by bullets, or they're still bashing the shit out of everything. It kind of seems like they're significantly stronger than regular zombies. Also, we're gonna go on a lot of segues in this podcast.
Zombies being the first one. Also, I think Lexi wants to get out.
I think the joggers were the first one, but Lexi does need to get out.
Lexi needs to get out. But anyhow, I'm gonna explain the
story.
story.
Can you just give me a second, because I need to let the dogs out.
Who? But so
this is where we need to use a soundboard.
keeping on going with the explanation though. So essentially these zombies are not like feeling anything, right? Like they're the virus zombies. And so that was what like I was told is that like in a zombie apocalypse, if you're trying to run away and if you're trying to like escape from these people, I guess like not people, zombies,
Undead. Well, they're
whatever
people.
they're called.
Hey, zombies are people too, man.
All right. Then then these people would just literally break through windows. And so I guess cardio has to be a big like
Yeah,
part
because
of
they
your...
would not tire at all.
Yeah, no, they don't feel anything. They're just
Yeah.
like, I want to eat your brain or infect your brain or whatever they want.
Or your guts or whatever is closest.
Yeah, whatever's more tasty. It's interesting.
It is.
Zombies are absolutely fascinating. But so we're going up on the hill.
Yes, that's right. That's right. I forgot about the original topic. Mountain shoot,
In stylish clothes.
5 a.m. Boots looking great. Go.
So we make it up the mountain, and dude, it's like snowing. I'm in a sweater and like a jacket that Dave gave me. Thankfully, bless his soul. Brianna is like the other person that was with us. She's essentially just like buckled up in like my jacket, her jacket, like her sweater, my cardigan, like everything.
Just got it all.
Absolutely. And so we're up there, and so we're supposed to be posing for Dave because Dave is there to take some photos. And she puts on this like dress, which is like kudos to her. Like she managed to put on a dress like in like almost negative like zero.
So sorry, is this the Brianna putting the dress or is this?
Yeah,
Oh,
not me putting on the dress.
no, I thought you had a model up there or
No,
something
no,
like.
it was
Okay,
just
it was
us.
just all right.
That's why I had
all right.
to look stylish, dude.
Yeah. Okay.
So
all right.
we went up.
You had your
on,
girl.
like-
You had your girl.
absolutely,
Okay.
Absolutely.
I understand now.
The cardigan is on there, and we're literally like shaking as we're as we're taking pictures because it's freaking snowing.
Can you imagine taking like, because you said it was like dark out and everything. Can you imagine trying to take a long exposure photograph when it's that cold? It's like,
And it's like us
now don't
vibrating.
move. Yeah. It's like, yeah.
We would be
Just,
duped.
it's impossible.
So essentially, yeah, we make it down the mountain. It's like 8 a.m. now, 10 a.m. maybe, and we're obviously photographing the lake because that's like that's what everybody.
That's why
wants.
you went there for, yeah.
That's what
it's
I
the reason,
went
yeah,
there
yeah,
for.
yeah.
Apparently, that's not what everyone else went there for.
They went for
They went for the freaking hike, which
the
didn't.
hike, yeah.
Dude.
Good times on the 5 a.m. hike.
Oh my gosh! So we get back, amazing time. Loved the pictures; they turned out great, and it was all around just awesome. But then I started thinking, oh my gosh, I took every single picture on my Canon, and I just recently got my Sony A7 III.
Yeah.
And I wanted to take it out because apparently the Sony has like an insane amount of dynamic range in picture mode, like the A7 III. It's like the most sold camera in 2019. It like literally broke
It is.
everything.
It's it really is. Like everybody is
everybody
making the
has it
switch.
now.
Everybody has it. Everybody's like who weren't shooting with it made the switch, like myself included, right? Switching from Canon to Sony and everything, specifically for exactly what you just told me. Just the dynamic range on that camera is, I think, is
Actually, question
It's
for you: How
unbeatable.
did you find the switch between the Canon and the Sony?
the switch.
Yeah.
Outside of the menus. Outside of the menus, everything was like, it's pretty standard. It's all like the only difference was that I got way more than I was getting before. Mind you, again, at the time I had a 70D, right?
Okay, and it's like a crop frame camera.
It's
right?
it's a crop factor camera, and I think it's like 1.3. I'm not sure. on that.
6 with the Canons.
6?
1.6 with the Canons.
God
yeah.
damn it, no wonder. Like everything I shot with the 50 mil just looks like I was
It's
like,
punched in.
yeah, so much that you
For-
lose everything
Yeah.
around the person.
Absolutely. For all of you guys that they're not super familiar with cameras, let's do a little bit of a breakdown. So usually there are two like big cameras that are out on the markets. One is kind of like the consumer level APS-C camera. It basically is a smaller sensor than a full frame by a certain number. It actually kind of varies depending on the manufacturer.
brand, yeah.
So it could be Sony, Canon, Nikon. They all
So
would
it could
be
be
different.
Yeah, it could change.
Absolutely. And then the other big one, which a lot of professionals tend to use, is full frame cameras. So when you look at a lens, for example, like a 50 millimeter, right? That's what you were just saying. 50 millimeter on a full frame camera would be 50 millimeters. So meaning that image that you get out of the 50 millimeter lens is exactly what you're going to be seeing on the sensor, and that's exactly what you're going to be seeing on your computer.
Yes.
If you get that on a crop or like an APS-C size camera, depending on the brand, it could be 1.5 to 1.6 to even 1.7 times zoomed in to that 50 millimeters. It's almost like something that's just like cropped.
Which I think like isn't it like the what's it called, black box, the Magic
Pocket
yeah,
Cinema.
yeah isn't it like isn't the crop like 3 something in one
2,
of those?
it's a Micro Four Third sensor, so it's even smaller than the APS-C.
Yeah.
And so it's a 2 times crop.
Yeah, that is crazy.
So your 50 millimeter lens would be essentially a 100 millimeter
Yeah.
lens, which is just
it's
nutty.
it's nuts.
It is absolutely
It is
nuts.
absolutely nuts that would change that much. And basically, the reason why it changes is just because the lens occupies a bigger space than the sensor does. So if there is no crop, then you would get like dark circles all around it with that small little picture in the middle, and that's why the crop happens. So it gets rid of all that kind of stuff, and it basically zooms in on the image like crazy sometimes, depending on the crop.
Yep.
Zooms in on the image like crazy. So I switched from Canon to Sony because I wanted to shoot with just wider frames. That was my main reason. Like this is before I even started actually looking into it and discovering all the other advantages that I would get from making that switch, right, with dynamic range and all that kind of stuff. But for me, it was a simple. I just want to include more on my frame. We mentioned, I guess I mentioned at the beginning the similarities between photography and videography, and the main one is framing.
Absolutely,
is the one thing that it serves the purpose for both, right? So it's essential for me because I operated with a crop factor for so long. I just want to include everything on my frame, right?
Which, I want to be able to for a second. Yeah. When you were using your 50, that would essentially, with the 1.6 crop, turn into almost like an 85 millimeter portrait lens.
Yeah, it was 1.5, right? With the Canon 70.
Canon 1.6.
1.6, okay.
So yeah. It's around 85-ish that you would be getting. I'm not going to do the math now because it's just ridiculous.
Fuck math.
Absolutely. But yeah, no, it's a ridiculously punched in image. And even
it is.
Portrait photographers, they use 85, but they just get shoulders above, right? It's a portrait. I think it's super interesting to kind of work with that, and especially in a video setting where you can't just necessarily recrop things, right? Because there's a certain way that things flow.
I mean, we can crop, right? Mm-hmm. It can be done, but not like photography, right? No. You can only go so far. And usually it's noticeable right away because the quality, right? You're switching from either 4K to 1080p, 1080p to 720.
Absolutely.
So there is a significant drop. And I crop on videos if I'm shooting something for YouTube, something casual and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But for client work, unless I'm shooting 4K and I can crop down to 1080p,
you don't really touch that area.
I don't crop it. I don't crop it. I don't crop video for that kind of stuff because if I can notice the change in quality, then I assume that the client would also notice, which usually they won't, right?
That's what I was just gonna say.
From 720 to 1080p, they won't. But I don't like it. But even for photos, I told you this before. Even for photos, my frame is the frame that I capture on the camera, and if there is a crop, it's just a fix and crop of the subject should not be here. There's a little bit too much on this, and it's uneven, but never with the mindset of I need to fit an Instagram grid or any kind of stuff like that because I just hate cropping.
Which is interesting because that's exactly how I do it. I remember us having this conversation because we were shooting a wedding together. Yeah. And we were both photographing this one.
And you're now I'll let you tell it because it's just funny just because because when it's two photographers finally butting heads because we have the same style of shooting and I'm for the majority of it, but there's one thing we are very, very different about, and that is the crop framing. But
absolutely. So we were doing this wedding and everything was working just super smooth. It was amazing. And I just look at Dan's LCD for 1 second. and I see that he's just like really, really zoomed into the image.
I'm punching in.
You're
punching
punching
into
in.
like,
You're,
yeah,
like,
it's
right on
exactly what I want. Yeah.
Which is amazing. It's like exactly what anyone
One on that specific photo. Of
absolutely.
That one photo.
This
Yeah.
is exactly it. But I shoot with the intent of cropping everything into the Instagram grid, which is like a 4:5 kind of like aspect ratio.
Yeah.
Like it's just a little bit shorter than what your camera would do. And I look at Dan and I'm just like, dude, I'm gonna need you to shoot.
Bring it back.
Bring it back. I'm gonna need you to shoot a little bit further because I'm gonna be cropping this all in.
Yeah.
And then he looks at me. He's like, "What?"
Dude, dude, it was the hardest request I've ever dude, absolutely it was.
Well,
because
yeah.
when you're so set in your ways, it was like you were speaking like another language. When it's like, dude, like pull back because I will crop it after
crop
us.
it in, yeah.
It to me, I was just like, I can't. I was like. Because to me, I was like, I don't know exactly, what
Yeah.
you want out of... Because when you talk about a crop, then it becomes your view, right?
Yes, absolutely.
It's not my view of
You
taking
don't
that
see
photo
what
anymore.
I see.
Exactly. It's
Yep.
not my view anymore of that photo. So it becomes extremely hard for me to do that. So I looked at you, and with the face like, I don't think I can do that, man. I was like struggling. I was like... Oh, this is a perfect frame. And I'm like, oh, no, bring it back. He crops. So,
By the way, your pictures turned out amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I do got to give you that. They turned out amazing.
Thank you.
Everything worked out, but it was just one of those moments where
Dude, I thought like, we may have a problem. we
might
may have
need
a
to fire
problem here.
myself
Like,
here.
yeah, I might have to quit. If I just hand you the camera and just like
you do this.
I'll just walk out, but then you drove me there, so I come back. I'll be waiting in the car. Come back.
And then you just sit outside, just like pushing your feet up on the dash, maybe hanging it out in the car, hanging with your phone, playing Angry Birds.
Yeah, just waiting for the next 12 hours to go by, 16 hours, because again, it is a wedding shoot, so we're there from fucking dusk to dawn.
Absolutely. We were good though. We did the job perfectly fine. I was proud of us. They loved it.
Me too. Let's get a toast going.
Absolutely. I got nothing left in my glass anymore.
Do you require another beverage
we can
of
get
sorts?
that later. But first,
Okay.
let's discuss camera gear a little bit. And so
Okay.
the reason why I brought this whole Sony thing up is because I recently purchased the Sony A7 III, which is the camera that you were shooting with for how long now?
The A7 III?
Yeah.
About a little over a year, I believe.
Okay, so you kind of start to get to know it inside out,
Yes.
despite the menu
Yeah,
system.
like the pros and cons of it and all of the above, yeah.
Absolutely. So now you came from the Canon family with flip screens, touch screens.
Oh, touch screens. Oh,
Amazing.
touch menu.
Absolutely.
Not that the A7 III doesn't have touch focus and all that kind of stuff. It does.
But that's it.
But that is it. That's all you get. So
There's
it
nothing else.
which every other Sony shooter out there can relate. It means that they have the technology, but they're not willing
They're just not giving it
to
to you.
make it available for one very specific point, which is the menu system, which I've mentioned before, which is
Garbage.
there's just a lot of choices. Okay. I'm not gonna say it's garbage. Okay.
I will say it's garbage.
Okay. I will say it's kind of maybe like a trash bin, but it's not
The
like
reason why
it's
I'm
not
saying
like a
it's
dumpster
garbage.
fire. Okay. So
It's not no flames. However,
Yeah.
it's pretty bad because you would set a certain thing, and I started noticing this in my Canon R. I also shoot with the Canon EOS R. If you have a certain thing toggled in, the camera just won't let you do anything else unless you untoggle that certain thing. So, for example, I was messing around with my flash settings.
Okay.
And I've zero. I don't have an external flash or anything for the Sony, but I basically just wanted to say no flash whatsoever. Okay, there's an actual setting within the menu,
yeah.
and when I look at it and I click on it, it says no, you can't do that, and then it tells me because I'm in manual exposure, and that's like, what do you mean? If I'm in manual exposure, that means everything is manual, so I should be able to switch that
okay.
off.
So I think it's because did you have it on actual manual mode or the video
Yeah, I
mode?
had it on manual mode. And that's exactly,
Really?
for those of you you guys can't see Daniel's face, but it's just
That's-
eyebrows tucked in,
Just-
confused.
Because if I'm on full manual, I've never had any prompt saying you can't touch this because
Maybe
of that.
it's my luck.
I don't know.
Maybe I'm just
I don't know,
unlucky
maybe.
with any other cameras. But essentially, that's what I don't like about the Sony menus is that unless you have like everything toggled in a certain way, it just doesn't let you do it. And it just gives you like this like almost half like answer
Yeah,
of
I
like,
see what you're saying. Yeah, you get that warning like can't do this. Like priority's not on this.
and it's
this
like,
portion.
but
Priority's
then
not on that
tell
portion.
me what you want.
Yeah.
I'm literally like Ryan Gosling from like freaking Notebook.
From Notebook.
Tell me
Dude, I don't know what you want.
And so, so I got recently to Sony. And
Oh, wait. Sorry, I just want to make one point here before you go into to talk more about the Sony. Was the fact the menus? I said that is not a complete like dumpster fire.
Yeah.
Just because the fact that the reason why it's so messy and we didn't go into it is that there's just way too many options with way too many tabs in that menu, and with the fact that we lack a touch screen option for going through the menus. Changing settings becomes just like troublesome. It's just a lengthy endeavor where there's 14 menus, 14 tabs, right, on it.
Yeah.
And some have like actually I think it's like 7 tabs and some have like 14 pages within the tabs.
Unnecessary.
Dude, it's
so much.
It is so many tabs. And you have to go each individual like sub file before you get to the other tab.
You know why? Because those mofos decided not to put in a touch operation into the menu system. Because in Canons, you can just tap on the tab and you can go from 1 to 6.
I know. And tell me who to sue for this. And if I had
And
if I had the money, I would. But what I'm trying to say that it's not a complete like bothersome. Just because the fact that you have
so many options,
so many options means you have that many options to control that many things in your camera.
Totally.
Dude, the reason why I switched from Canon to Sony was the fact that the menu from Canon was missing a few tabs. Legit.
Yeah.
For me to be able to control this aspect and that other aspects. Because the menu was just a straightforward, just prosumer, right? Which is what we call it, just professional consumer kind of level.
It's like getting
of
to
camera.
like the professional level, but
Exactly.
not quite there yet.
You're not quite there. What I would classify as like you're buying a professional camera, but you're not. The function is not a professional function, right?
Absolutely.
You're still just taking photos of your friends and family and all the people that are just right, and that's what you should do to learn how to operate cameras and then move up from there.
Absolutely.
But that's what I thought I was missing a lot on the Canon. Just that more variety on options within what the camera can do and the settings I can put the camera to perform in. But it's just the Sony is just the fact that you get a little bit more than you bargained for with like suddenly you got all the fucking options and you have to flip. It's almost like imagine a book with no index.
Yep.
You just have to flip to the pages to find what you're looking for until you do. Yeah, that's the best way I can like.
It's not even like I guess now it's color coded, but it didn't used to be color.
Yeah, it wasn't color coded. But fuck that, color coded. There's like fucking 8 tabs. Oh yeah, the purple is the focus one. I'll remember that.
You will forever
color
coded. I like color coded to be fair,
because we're all parrots here trying to solve little problems for their scientific
It's easier
endeavor.
for me to look at it.
For the color one,
Absolutely.
To me it makes no difference for the color. Honestly,
enough.
I cannot tell the different colors on it right now. I can tell you that one is, I think, purple.
Yeah, the autofocus one, you nailed it right on the
Oh
head, actually.
shit! Yeah, there you go. And I'm gonna stop right here because I was gonna
There you go. That's all you needed to say.
That's all I think one is purple.
Yeah. So I went to Sony. Never mind a lot of options. Forget the fact that I can tap where to focus on the screen, but I cannot tap what option I want. Like that just
drives me
up
nuts,
the wall,
dude.
The other thing that kind of made me like semi mad, but like semi actually like really invested into this Sony camera was the custom buttons. So all of the Sony cameras now have so many like different like C1, C2, so on and so forth buttons that you can just customize. So it's gonna be like whatever you want.
Whatever you want it.
And I love that. I had my Canon actually set up a certain way to have a couple of those, but it doesn't have, like you said, that kind of integration that Sony has. But I bought an MC f11 adapter. So basically, with all my Canon glass I've already collected throughout the years, I can use it on my Sony body.
Yeah.
With the exception of no continuous autofocus within video. So, if I go and take out my favorite lens, my 16 to 35 Canon L series lens, Mark II, love that thing, dude. It is so good. I showed you the video earlier with Maxim Canada, and that was shot entirely on the 16 to 35.
Really?
Everything in that video was shot there.
That's a fantastic lens, man.
Dude, the barber
So I can't
shop,
wait to get my Sony 7028 equivalent.
Tamrons.
Yeah, Tamron.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Tamron. There's Tamron, but for Sony, yes. I can't wait for that.
Dude,
But anyways, do go on. I don't
like
want to go into another segue here.
Totally. The barbershop video that I also showed you.
Yeah.
Also shot with the 16 to 35. Like, it is the ideal lens for a filmmaker, in my opinion.
Here's the thing. For those kinds of shoots, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Event shoots, the 35 won't get you quite as
It won't
much.
get you
Like,
as close,
I mean, like
yeah.
for the weddings that we shoot, you
Yeah.
couldn't shoot that with the 16 to 35, right?
No.
Because you have to be away from people at certain times.
You
and
can't be
everything.
Uncle Bob.
You can't be Uncle Bob.
Oh my gosh. Let's stop here for a second, because
let's,
we really need to educate people.
Okay. Like, here's the thing, though. Should we talk about the Uncle Bobs in another episode? I think
That deserves a whole
I think it
entire
deserves
episode.
a whole episode for Uncle Bob's. Okay.
Fair
so
enough.
let's table that for
Sure,
another evening.
But yeah, you would definitely be limited as to how far you can actually get away from the couple, because it is so incredible.
But for that kind of shoot, for that kind of like brand shoots where you do have the control, you can be right there up close to the person, you can be at the distance that you want. It covers everything, because 16 is super wide.
Absolutely.
Right? Super wide.
Dude, it's amazing.
And 35 is portrait perfect, right? What I call it.
Absolutely.
It's portrait perfect, 35.
Yeah.
Right? So much is shot on a 35 millimeter.
Words are difficult.
Words are difficult. So much is shot on a 35 millimeter lens.
Yeah.
For like so much that you see out there, right?
Oh, 100%.
It is a fantastic focal length.
That
right?
in the 50.
That in the 50.
My
right?
gosh.
It's close
So
to your,
good.
it's close to your own eye focal length, especially the 50, right? So that's why it looks so good. It just looks natural.
Absolutely. So getting back to the whole like Sony Canon debate that I've been having internally for like the past like week.
Maybe
Maybe
sell your
get rid
Sony,
of my Sony. It's because, like you said, there's a 17 to 28 Tamron lens that's coming out for the Sony for the E-mount. But the problem is Tamron is like, okay, I'm gonna make a lens. I'm gonna be distributing it to like 5 YouTubers. Those 5 YouTubers will review this lens, like it is out on the market, and then you
give
go
it an
into
amazing score.
Absolutely.
Make you crave like crazy.
Dude, it makes you literally want this lens like you wanted your first love in high school.
Yeah.
And we all know that feeling.
Yeah. And you know what? It's probably going to be better because it's going to be with me forever.
Oh, absolutely.
And if it isn't with me forever, I'll at least make some money out of it.
Absolutely. Which you can't.
I'll have to become kind of a pimp for that.
Absolutely. You would have to wear a feather hat.
Yeah, maybe we'll table that discussion for later. Although I do like the feather hat option.
Oh, you Brazilians, you crazy
So
mofos.
we like the headgear, man.
Absolutely.
Like the headgear with we're the carnival people. Come on.
Totally. You guys dance crazy too.
Yeah.
You got the moves. We at one of the weddings, we were just like rocking out, and you were
I was
you were like noodle legs, dude.
Trying
It
my
was
best.
going everywhere. It was like watching Squidward from one of the episodes of SpongeBob.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
It was like
dude.
full on wavy.
You know what? That's a compliment for me.
Absolutely.
Because
Taking
dude,
a run.
it's they're underwater. Nothing flows as smooth as water, man. That was a huge compliment. Even though it was Squidward, but I'll take it as a compliment.
Hey man, everyone remembers Squidward.
True.
You talk to one person that says, I watch SpongeBob, and they don't know who Squidward is. Even like no matter how young they are.
True.
They all know who Squidward is.
True.
But getting back to this
Because
whole
they
stuff-
hate his guts. I just wanna let you know. That's the reason. Everybody remembers Hitler too. Doesn't mean he was an okay guy, Benza. So it doesn't-
I was browsing, completely separate story. I was browsing 9gag, like a meme site, last night, and of course, like all the jerks and the trolls of the internet just go onto 9gag.
Yeah.
And there was obviously a picture of a girl, but let's say some very heavy breastage.
Yeah. some breastage.
Yeah.
Got some of that breastage.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so there's this GIF, and I always like whenever I see a picture that is kind of like resembling like a girl or anything like with like female related things, I always go to the comment section. Because when you go into that comment section, you see this like GIF of Hitler, and it's just like Schollhitten. It's the most hilarious thing to me, and I giggle at night. It's horrible.
You're gonna have to include a link at some place wherever you post this podcast. So there's gonna be a link.
Absolutely. And so, looking at the Sony, I wish that I had continuous autofocus with my 16 to 35 because I bought the adapter, so I can actually adapt my Canon lens onto my Sony body, and I can just like run.
Yeah.
Literally.
Just
run. Like away.
Yeah.
But there is no continuous autofocus in video with the MC11 adapter at least. Yeah. And there's no freaking flip screen, which I feel like such a first world problem for me to have, especially with two amazing camera bodies, to have not flip screen.
It is. It is a first world problem. Oh my God, I just drew a lot right now.
I watched it happen. But I was gonna just pass by it, but you were like, no, we're gonna get to this.
I need to remember that this is a podcast and nobody can see me, so I can be gross.
You can drool all you want.
Yeah. I forgot what point I was gonna make. I was trying to make.
Flippy screens.
Yeah, flippy screen. Okay. You do have a point there. It's like it is a first world problem, yes, but only because it's the only place that we can afford these cameras.
Absolutely.
So that's why it's a first world problem. But
absolutely,
it is, dude. It's a real problem though, because even if for example, usually Sony shooters are usually like the people behind the cameras, right? They're always like, oh my God, this dog is just the dog is whining outside the door. She whine until she gets in. Okay.
Lexi's back. We can keep on going.
Yeah.
Oh, come here, Lexi.
She's back. Okay. So, Sony shooters are usually known for being the behind the camera shooters, right?
Absolutely.
Just like, it's not,
you guys don't get in front of it.
Not really like the vlogger kind of like that kind of stuff. But, mind you, people vlog with whatever the camera they have, right? I mean, I vlog with my A7 III, and I've heard that that's something of a maniac to do. Like I'm a lunatic for doing so, because there's no.
You're pretty close to it.
Because there's no flip screen and everything, but. So I understand why there's no flip screen because of that fact that usually the common denominator of people buying the camera are just like, I'm shooting other people.
Yeah.
Like I'm not in front of the camera.
My intent is to be behind the camera.
To be behind the camera, which is like it's always been my focus, right?
For me, it's completely different.
For you is the vlog. As a matter of fact, like I only started a YouTube channel just because I thought I have the camera. Right.
Yeah.
I do like movies, and there is a niche or a platform for talking about movies and that kind of stuff. There is the aspect of when you upload videos for YouTube, when you're a vlogger, it's a constant practice on editing.
Absolutely.
Right? If at least if you're diligent, if you're actually putting videos on a regular basis, which I'm not really.
It's tough, dude.
It's only tough right now for me personally, just because we've been getting jobs right with this shit
it's
now,
nice.
Right? It's nice. We've been getting paid for it, right? And it's very nice. So from choosing between making a video for YouTube and getting a very small amount of views, although very valuable nonetheless, because I still appreciate everybody who watched my video.
Absolutely.
But the work put into it does not compare to the reward when it comes to that. So I think that's the only reason why now I haven't uploaded that often, just because we've been working with it and then making money. Obviously, the priority for me is there because we've both invested thousands of dollars in this kind of thing, right?
Absolutely.
So that's why. But from the vlogger standpoint, I understand, even without it, sometimes I'm setting up a camera and I don't have my subject to set up, focus on that kind of stuff, and I have to deal with myself.
Yep.
And I wish I did have...
The cat is like trying to reach
the cat's trying to get into the studio, and the dog is whining back to the cat like she misses the cat, and she wants the cat also to be in here.
Meanwhile, you like, if they really missed each other, then it wouldn't be fighting, because they have been fighting like before, like pushing the chairs.
Playful fighting. Playful fighting. Nothing,
I guess
nothing, but anyways, I was saying, I understand the frustration when you're a vlogger, just because even when you're trying to set up like a frame, when you're trying to set focus, and when you don't have a stand-in to do so.
Exposure nonetheless. That's a big thing too.
Exactly. When you don't have a stand-in to do so, then what can you do?
What do you
What I do right now is that, which you guys can't see. Lexi, what do you want?
You need
girl?
to just like.
You need to just
really
go. Okay, wait. Let me hit
tame
the pause button for a
yourself.
second. I'm gonna let her go. I'm gonna take a piss. And I'm gonna get us another drink.
There we go. So now we're back to it. We had our very necessary washroom break.
Yes.
We got new beers. It's amazing.
We got new beers. Great.
That's all it is. So basically, flip screens, right?
Yes. Go on. Please don't let me.
Don't
interrupt
let
you,
me.
yeah.
Oh my gosh. I love flip screens because being an adventure filmmaker, vlogger myself, having that Canon flip screen lets me adjust essentially every single setting with me holding the camera up on myself. And the big thing
Yeah, it
for me,
speeds up the process completely.
oh, dude, huge. The biggest thing for me is the exposure. So when you're videoing, you know this, some people might not, but essentially you have to have a certain exposure setting on your camera, which allows a lot more light to come and enter your sensor. With that being said, you need to somehow tone that exposure down. So we basically have to use these things called the variable, or not variable, but ND filters that essentially work as like sunglasses for your
camera,
sensor. Yeah. And so I see on my flip screen exactly how much I need to turn in that variable ND filter, that exposure, to get a clear image that I can work with in post-production. I cannot do that with the Sonys. And never mind the fact. So
Wait, what do you mean? You can have variable ND filters on.
I have no idea whether I'm turning it right or wrong though if I don't see the screen.
Wait, so with the Canon, you're saying that you can?
Yeah, because I flip screen it.
Sorry, because I forgot about the topic, like in hand, the fact that the split screen, the flip screen.
Yeah,
that's the problem because you're not seeing. I'm like, again, I just explained. I'm coming from a Sony shooter. I'm like, but you're looking at the screen, right?
There's no reason for you
as
to
you're
not
shooting
see
somebody
it.
else. It's right there. No, I understand that. Yes, absolutely.
No, I am selfish and I look at myself, and that's
yeah,
exactly the only thing that I care about.
Yeah.
So, but that's not the only thing. So I run my video setup now on a Ronin S, on a gimbal, which allows me to hold whatever weight that is a certain way, and it's motors that work on balancing my camera.
Yeah.
Now, with the Ronin, even though it's like a bigger kind of like cradle that comes up and holds the camera, I still prefer having the Canon side screen, like opening up the screen and have it to the side,
instead
as
of just
opposed to the Sony kind of like
coming out or
and
flipping up or down or whatever you choose to.
Because even then, the Sony has better features. It's an amazing camera. It is super fast. It is super clear. It sees in the dark, dude. I still have that trouble of I'm so incredibly, I don't want to say like used to and like stuck in the Canon ways, but it is very practical the way that I shoot and the angles that I'm getting. It's very practical for me to have a side screen rather than a come out screen.
Because Canon still has, and they will always have, the average Joe in mind, right? Just like the dude that doesn't understand much about camera, and he's just trying to go out there and shoot, and it's like far from it. But the guy who doesn't understand a lot about cameras and he wants to go out and shoot, and the best way to test it is by shooting yourself, and then that's how you figure out, that's how you learn and everything. So I do wish, of course, that Sony had a flip screen. Absolutely.
Well, the new ones they do in the new APS-C crop bodies.
They have like it just flips up, right, not to the side. Just goes like, isn't it?
Yeah. Which although it also stupid, because the cold shoe or the hot shoe placement is right in front.
Right there. So it's like you can't have
if you put a microphone on top.
Have a mic, yeah.
It's like it's
like
blocking
useless.
completely.
Yeah, it's useless.
Why would you do that?
It's
And I have a theory. Okay, put on the tinfoil hat.
Yeah. Okay.
Because this is gonna get serious.
Okay, go on.
So I think the reason why they did that is because they had a backdoor deal with SmallRig, because conveniently, SmallRig started to make hot shoe replacement plates for the Sony A6400 I know like they could be prepared because immediately like everyone knew like the Sony specs. They saw that there was going to be a flip up screen, but they just freaking knew. And I think cue the X File music. I think they deliberately made it so that they could get some sales deals with small rig.
So you're saying that
Change my mind.
two big companies got together to fuck the little guys?
And I'm that little guy.
That is outrageous. That is completely unbelievable.
I just can't
get out of
believe
here,
this.
Vince. I can't believe this. This is conspiracy theory at best. No, but yes, absolutely, most likely. Because, dude, I don't understand why a company would be so stubborn to change some things, some aspects, unless somebody else is directly profiting from that.
Absolutely. Maybe they get a nice little cut too. Little shimmy
So
shimmy.
now the question is, who's profiting from the no touch menu feature? Who's profiting from that shit?
Canon.
It was like,
because they're still the
but
only
it's like
ones.
the rival though. So what sense does that make? Is this a patent kind of thing? It's like, is that what it is? Like, did they not
think so.
secure the patents for that specific feature?
Maybe
because that's what I'm thinking. Because like,
well, Olympus has.
Isn't Olympus like they make all the patents for this for the technology that goes to the majority of the cameras, right?
Yeah,
they
have
are the
a
ones.
huge flip screen thing.
They are the ones who make basically, at least with this, what I heard from going to Suneo cameras and talking to people who understand it way more than I do, is that they are the ones who hold all the patents for all the shit that really makes your camera work.
Okay, yeah.
And then all the other companies just purchase or franchise or whatever, license some of that to be able to have that in their cameras.
So really, we need to be thankful for Olympus.
Yeah, or whatever it is that one brand. I want to see Olympus. I'm fairly certain it is, but yes, we should be thankful for that one brand that actually makes all the technical aspects, the mechanical aspects of the camera, and then all the other big money companies just kind of buy the rights to it.
Absolutely. It's interesting because I don't think like in a perfect ideal situation there would be a camera that has the best autofocus. It takes pictures and videos amazingly.
Yeah, and it's like a fucking drone as well.
Dude, it flies. It like walks my dog. It makes me food.
It makes fat people skinny.
It's like the whole thing.
It's like, no, you don't even need to show up to the wedding. It walks in, it says hi to everybody.
It does the whole thing.
Yeah, exactly.
But
it bangs the waitresses for you.
But unfortunately, this
We're
camera
not there yet.
Doesn't exist yet. And it's kind of just like a weird spot for me to be in currently because I do have so many L series glass. Like I have the Pro line of lenses from Canon, and I have a really good selection of it.
You have a lot of glass for Canon.
And I do have the adapter, but it doesn't work the exact same way. But I know what the potential could be with my Sony. So having these two bodies, I'm just kind of in this internal debate as to should I wait for the 17 to 28 for me to come in as well? Is it wide and tight enough? Because it does cut off a millimeter on the wide end coming from a 16 to 35 and it cuts off a significant amount on the long end.
Yeah, but then again, does it though? Like it comes back to framing, right? Again, I mean, like the comparison photos that I seen, like, oh, you see what you get with the 35, and this is what you get with the 28. I'm like, okay, then fucking step away or step closer, like to get to that frame. Yeah. I understand that you're losing it, but at the same time, it's not a stationary camera, right? Like you frame it the way you want it.
Totally.
And I understand that you will lose some things because it's not exactly 35, but I just think I like I said, I always rather shoot it wider, right?
Fair enough.
Right? And I know I'm losing that on the 16 to 17, but I will gain it on the 28 to 35, right? So that's the way I see it.
Yeah.
Like if that is the worst thing, if that is your your main problem with that lens, I would say that's like a smaller one, which that's the main one for most people, that you're going to lose that 35. It's not going to be quite that.
Yeah.
But I can live with that. I can definitely live with that.
See, And that is not the only thing why I'm.
Because I've been rocking a 28 to 70 for this entire time.
Absolutely.
Right? So I've been widest have been 28 already. Yep. So like to me it's like whatever, bitch.
Yeah.
That's my bread and butter. Like.
But here's the thing: the big thing for me is coming down to that lens selection that I already have.
Yeah.
I just recently got. I made a video on the. Well, we made a video on the 135 f2 prime lens.
A beautiful lens.
It is. I want to say it's almost unbeatable, and I know that there are other lens manufacturers that even make like similar things on like a Sony body. It's just I'm so heavily invested into Canon at this point. Not that I'm unwilling to change, because like I got a bargain on my lenses, but even then, the flip screen seems such a minuscule little thing. Because there are big YouTubers like Chris Howe, for example, shoots all of his vlogs on a Sony A7 III or an A7R III and like an A9. And those don't flip screens.
No.
And he makes it work.
Yeah.
So there's clearly a way to make it work.
You just gotta go wide.
Absolutely.
You shoot yourself. That's it. Dude, like, dude, okay, listen. Every time I shoot something like vlogger style shit of myself, I'm rocking like a Rokinon 14mm cine lens. So
and it's
like
a manual lens,
yeah,
too.
it's all manual, right? So that's what I do to shoot myself. So I can tell you right now, I can shoot the fuck out of myself doing the selfie like kind of way with an automatic focus lens at 17 to 28. Like that won't be a goddamn issue, right? Because I even like done vlogging selfie style with the 28 to 70 as well, which is like it's so cropped. It's like it's so cropped. It's like sure everything's like nice and blurry behind me, but it's also very claustrophobic as fuck, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
So I don't. Bottom line is like, I'm just looking forward to my 17 to 28.
Absolutely.
And I'll worry about the limitations once I get the lens and be like, fuck, it doesn't do this. But from what I've read, you know, it's like the best for your buck right now. Oh, and the fact that it's in like world shortage, it should be the evidence to that. Should be the testament to that. Because the fact that you cannot fucking find this lens right now, right? We are both on hold for it for like God knows how long, right? So that says something.
Interesting. I went to Vistec when I put my pecking order in for this lens, and they were like, "Yeah, we." Oh,
you ordered through Vistec?
I ordered through Vistec. Okay. Yeah, I love Vistec.
Okay, I didn't know that. Yeah, they took orders like that.
They
check
do.
It out. Okay.
But they were essentially explaining to me like, this could be like 2 weeks or it could be like
months.
2 months.
Yeah, they just don't know. That's the thing. They just don't know.
They don't.
Yeah, that's what I asked the guy too. I was just like, they just don't know.
That's crazy to me.
It could be here, it could be.
But also, like, Tamron, let's pause for a second and understand what you did here. You made a lens that you knew was going to be a hitter for all those vloggers and filmmakers.
How could they not? Come on.
You made it.
How could they not know?
So cheap that anyone could really afford this lens. And now you say, oh, hold up, we're going to wait until the reviews from all those people who we lent this lens to in the first place, which were those vloggers, come back so we can make it even better. What? Sorry, what?
Is that the reason? Like, what
That's the
really?
reason. That's the reason. Now we're just waiting for all these reviews, and the reviews have been in, and now we're just waiting. And they're probably sitting in their offices like, look at these losers.
It didn't even make the lens better. Like, there is no plan to make the lens better. We just need to we need to make people crave this shit.
Absolutely.
So they can't fucking imagine shooting without it anymore.
Absolutely.
Which is like how I felt it after like seeing like test shots and like.
Oh, dude, it looks insane.
It looks insane. It looks so good,
insane.
and I can't fucking wait. I told you, my game is wide. The wider the better. The wider the better. Like 14mm, the Rokinon is like one of my favorite lenses.
But it's
dude, I wish it was automatic. Yes, but it's manual focus, which means I have to do look in it. A manual focus on a 14mm, dude. Try to find a focus at 2.8. Fucking try it. Like it's tough. It's
impossible.
It's impossible, right?
Yeah.
You have to. It has to be a stationary shot, and you have to like plan it, everything. But granted, I work with it But
Yeah.
it requires me to do exactly that, work with it.
Yeah.
And then the 17 to 28, it's a point and shoot, right? To me, it's like, hey, look at this. It's all wide, and I don't have to fucking.
Yeah.
It's not on my nose. It's not on. It's everywhere. The focus is not just on my eyelash anymore.
Absolutely.
Because, dude, okay. Something that I want to invest in, because I've seen the advantage of it is just an LCD monitor.
Absolutely.
Because that fucking little tiny ass screen, dude, it doesn't do justice for anything. It doesn't do justice for like the exposure that you have, where the focus is, like nothing. Like it's really like, is this a screen for ants? Like it doesn't. It's once you shoot with like a Shotgun Inferno like monitor, it's like it changes the way you shoot shit. You're like,
Absolutely.
I don't want to look at this tiny little screen anymore.
Peasant screen.
It's peasant. Spit on your peasant screen.
Absolutely.
I'm very glad that you have this this
I don't
pop
think
filter,
it's actually going to use anything. I think like this is going to be like the one clipping.
There will be a lot of popping peas over there.
Oh my gosh, I'm going to have to go through and none of this.
But
bottom line for this whole entire story is picking gear is tough. It's tough because you have to kind of like,
because it's a trial and error.
Dude,
It
totally
always
is.
comes down to that. It doesn't. Dude, you can read and watch videos and see the sample of it. Do fucking all day long.
Absolutely.
You won't know how the camera or lens really perform, if that's something for you, specifically the camera body, if that's really for you, until you pick it up and shoot it.
Absolutely.
Like, I thought the A7 II would be like the camera for me in a budget, in the kind of like range, right? And when I bought it, I was so disappointed with that camera when I was doing the test shots and
battery
everything.
life. FW50
I was like, dude,
batteries
oh my
are
God, Jesus
the
fucking.
worst.
First of all, that battery life. I remember the guy going like, the battery life is really bad. It's like really bad.
And we were shooting a wedding not so long ago, and you were using those batteries in the 6500 that I have.
Yeah, dude. Oh yes.
And we went through 4 batteries in a matter of
minutes,
hour.
dude. It wasn't even a full hour.
It
was
wasn't.
like
No,
there were a lot of
right.
speeches, absolutely, but they took up at most about 35 minutes. And that's, dude,
absolutely insane.
The 4 batteries in 35 minutes?
Are you serious?
Like,
that's trash.
How can you even plan a shoot with that? How can you shoot an event or anything that you don't have control on, having a station with several batteries plugged in and you're going to have access to it at all times, which even at weddings, they locked all of our gear.
Oh my gosh, I couldn't believe it.
At one point, they locked all of our gear in one room. The only room that we were told that's like, for you guys and for anybody who needs to stash stuff.
Absolutely.
It locked it. So not having a comfortable place to charge batteries, paired with the fact that most of shooting video takes an absurd amount of time, right?
Absolutely.
It's 5 hours plus. It's like, why would you even make this camera with a battery that lasts like just as long? Like you need an extension cord,
absolutely,
for that crap.
Absolutely.
And so that, and also the image, I did not think it was honestly any good compared to my 70D. Mm-hmm. Like the video, because again, I was just looking at video. Dude, it was up to par. Right. And from everything that I've read, it was supposed to be much better. Granted, I was using kit lens, absolutely using kit lens and everything, but I have been using kit lens with the A7 III all this fucking time.
Yeah.
And I've had no worries with it. I have done professional work with it. I've done paid work with it, which people have fucking glorified the image of it, how clear it is.
Amazing.
I'm telling you right now, I would never do paid work with the A7 II with the kit lens. I'm just specifying that as well, because again, a shitty body with an amazing lens will get you really far.
But
right?
the otherwise,
not so much.
Absolutely,
not so much. So
bottom line of this, if this whole thing even like gets to a bottom line, is do some research on the gear that you're planning on getting. Take the time, because this is an investment. Take the time, go to a camera store, try it out, ask professionals who their little job is to know all this stuff. And even then,
tell them what kind of shoot you are planning to do, because it depends.
One.
It depends. Your gear depends on what kind of photography or what kind of filming you're doing. It's not It's not one lens for everything. It's not
100%.
one body for everything, right?
100%.
If you're a vlogger, you're not gonna go the Sony route. You're not gonna spend.
Or you might. You never know. You just gotta try it.
You might, but I would imagine like I would imagine that's more of a like if you're into the camera aspect. But
Absolutely.
if you're more of a casual kind of thing, you're obviously not gonna go for that. You're gonna pick something like Canon. But here's the thing with casual photography. It's only a matter of time until it becomes not casual.
Until you spiral down the
until it's not
rabbit hole.
casual. Until it's not casual anymore. It's just a matter of time. The way I see
Absolutely.
it. Unless you are an Uncle Bob, then
But that's a whole different
But that's a
topic.
whole other topic for another podcast, which I think we are ending it here.
I think so.
Maybe I think.
I mean, I'm
although wait a second, did we get a conclusion to the climbing a mountain at 5 a.m. shoot? Like, did we get a yay or nay for that adventure? Like, did we sum it up? Like, where did we land at that? Because we've been going on like
everything.
several segues, and I'm gonna say that the next episode we're gonna be a lot more focused. We're gonna
Or maybe not. I enjoy this back and forth of like, oh my gosh,
I do.
things.
It's almost like a Tarantino movie, right? It's like you don't know what's coming. It's not
Absolutely.
chronologic.
Absolutely. To answer your question,
Yes.
I feel like a lot of people do not like frigid wind blowing in their face. Meanwhile, they're not wearing a lot of layers.
Yes. This was also a hell of a segue here. Where are you going with this? Okay.
However,
the
views that I got to experience with the people that I got to go with made everything just worth it. And so for that, I want to say, try it.
Just fucking do it. Go
Just
out
do
there
it.
and just do it. 5 a.m.
Absolutely.
Blue suede shoes, man. You also got
Skinny jeans.
Skinny jeans, joggers. Whatever floats your boat.
Absolutely.
But you have to go out there, and you have to shoot, and you have to look good. I don't. That was
That's
the
it.
worst motivational like speech ever.
No, honestly,
which pretty much only encompasses photographers. but for the non-photographers out there, I'll have to say that my motivational speech would be, do you, boo?
Wow.
Do you, boo?
Want to play some Marvel?
Yes, let's avenge some ass. Well, I think we're gonna be signing off here. I have been Dan, and my friend has been Ben. So I was trying to gesture to him to have
I
a
just want to play
whole
Marvel.
okay. Well, I'm trying to like infuse.
There's no way to
some
end this
sort
at
of
this
like.
point.
Okay.
We're too far.
Okay. Well, okay.
Marvel.
Bye. Marvel.
Bye.
Bye.